they talk about how they tabulated these results. Where is it? But I'm really looking forward to the Daleks next week, right? I really genuinely am. Big weight again. We got Underwater Mess, which I think is not going to be good. I really have a strong opinion it's not going to be that good. Fine. So let's see if they can talk about. I still don't understand. Heaven Sent being the number one. World Enough in Time, the Doctor Falls. I mean, that's much stronger, I think, than Heaven Sent. Right? Heaven Sent is all Capaldi's performance, which is very good, but it's not very rewatchable. What would I say is better, Case of Androzani or Genesis of the Daleks? They're both pretty darn good, right? But man, they're very real dark macabre, aren't they? Day of the Doctor, I think that's good. Blink, that deserves its place on the list. Human Nature, Family Blood, yeah, I think that deserves a place on the top 10. City of Death, I think, does, as the members of the Daleks. Forest of Library, Silence and Library, Forest of Death, I don't think it deserves a place there. I think there's some other stories that really... actually, do I have my I think I have my rankings. Let's have a look. Oh! Not all of them, but... from the classic, I just had the best of Davison. And Davison isn't even on. So, yeah, he's got Mordred Undead was number 2. I can live with that. Did I have Best of Tennant, Capaldi? Where did I put Heaven Sent in my Capaldi ranking? Wow, it's way down. Way down. Oh, man, I haven't even found it yet. It's near the bottom. It's how many down it is? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 26. Right, 26. The 26 of episodes, not stories. Wow, my list is very different for Capaldi. I wish I had got Robert Holmes. Most rewatchable Doctor Who, classic Doctor Who, is Invasion came out as my number 1. Talons of Wing Chang. Talons of Wing Chang should have been on the list. Right. Talons of Wing Chang is really the only one I can say is a real crime that wasn't on the list. But let's see how they tabulated it. All right, it's interesting. Okay. At the start of 2023, is there a bit up here? At the start of 2023, we asked you to vote in our 6th anniversary poll in order to identify the most popular Doctor Who story of them all. All 300 TV Avengers, up to and including last year's Power of the Daleks, were all eligible, and thousands of you submitted your votes. Initially, we asked you to score out of 10 each and every story. After calculating your average mark for each adventure, we were then able to present a top 3 of the 13 primary Doctors. Firstly, I would say they're 12, not 13. Well, I think you got Hartnell, Troughton, Pertwee, Baker, Peter Davison, Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy, Paul McGann, I guess John Hurt, Eccleston, Matt Smith and Capaldi, right? That's 12. That came out 12. Let's start doing that again. 1 second. Did I miss out Tennant? I did miss out Tennant. Yeah, okay, fine, because the action figures behind the Eccleston one. So yeah, 13, but we're not the 13 you're thinking of. For those stories put forward, each of the grand final. For obvious reasons, the 8th Doctor, Paul McGann, was a slight exception to the rule, so the 96 movie was automatically given a pass. That gave us 37 stories from which, okay, this is dumb already. I mean, this is just dumb already. I mean, we took the top 3 of each one, and then overall, right? You should have said like overall, which is the one that ran. So that gave us 37 stories, from which you asked to pick your top 5 ever. Impossible. How could you choose 5? But thankfully you did. With our votes now totted up, we can reveal your top 10 and overall winner. I'm absolutely astonished and thoroughly delighted. I bet he is, says Stephen Moffat. And then they told him about his win. Well, he's got a lot. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fuck me. He's got 7 episodes in the top 10. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got 5 stories in the top 10. That's a little bit crazy. I mean, I like Moffat, but that's a bit crazy. And literally no Robert Holmes. I mean, he kind of rewrote Genesis of the Daleks. Did Robert Holmes write Caves of Androzani? Yeah. Well, no, like classic Tom Baker Robert Holmes. That's just weird. No Terrence Dicks. There's no Horror of Fang Rock. Not horror. Is it Horror of Fang Rock? Is that the Lighthouse one? I love that story. Yeah. When we break the news about Heaven Sent's victory, I suppose, if I'm honest, I thought if I had a chance at all, I would assume Blink of Dare the Doctor. To see Heaven Sent at the very top of the list, and World Enough in Time in second place, that's great. I mean, both of those were very late on for me. You're supposed to get the worst worse over time. I don't think so. So it's a comfort to know that I had some good ones in me. Certainly by the time I wrote those episodes, I was in a state of worry about whether there will be anything left in the tank. No, I mean, they were all very strong stories, I have to tell you. The result may come as a slight surprise, if only because the curious fact the World Enough in Time and the Doctor Falls actually beat Heaven Sent during the preliminary stage of voting. Exactly. That's why you fucked this up. You fucked this up to protect Jodie. Let's be clear. Oh, it wasn't to protect Colin Baker. No, it was to protect Jodie. I'm impressed that Remembrance made it to the top 10, though. Fine. As your favourite 12th Doctor story, however, in the final survey, with voting started again from scratch, I don't even remember when they announced the final survey. Race ahead of anything more than 1/3 of all Doctor Who magazine voters nominated it, helping it. Well, again, they have dumbed down Doctor Who magazine a lot, and they dumbed it down, and they lowered the average age of people buying it because it's a lot shitter than it used to be. Doctor Who magazine used to be a lot less pages and a lot better written, right? A lot better put together. Stephen is keen to give due credit to everyone involved. I haven't said it's basically Capaldi, right? It's like, it was everything. The only thing that really matters in this one is Capaldi's performance, right? Please make sure you're brilliant. Oh, the projections with Brian Minchin, no, and director Rachel Talali. She is a fantastic director. And of course the mighty Capaldi. This will make him really happy. Having us come back, maybe? Heaven Sent is undoubtedly a tour de force for Peter Capaldi, whose almost solitary performance is breathtaking. Trapped in a confession dial, the Doctor relives the same day over and over again, agonizingly punching through a wall of solid diamond across a course of millions of years. Stephen laughs when asked if there's any subtext going on. I just don't see him ever being able to make a dent in the diamond, right? Even after 1 billion years, right? I just don't see it happening. It was getting near the end of my time on the show, and every year was identical. He remembers every year I was climbing to the mountain, and then this is also a paragraph, but I was climbing the mountain and then getting back to the bottom again. I mean, in a lovely way. I kind of hear that, right? Man, I wish they had 2 more years for Capaldi. Minimally. I was still enjoying it, but inevitably the idea of doing the same thing again and again leaked into the script. I didn't know that's where it came from. It's fair to say that Heaven Sent could never be called a typical Doctor Who story if there's such a thing. There is such a thing. The episode and most of the Doctor Who's made up of those typical episodes. Ventures, Stephen. That doesn't mean they're not good, but they're generally very imaginative and funny. An awful lot of people, an awful lot of what Doctor Who is was set out by Dalek creators Terry Nation 60 years ago, and we don't quite follow it quite carefully all the time. But I think that once a year you're supposed to do one that's completely mental. They used to call it oddball, right? That's what John Lathan Turner used to call them. Like Happiness Patrol was the oddball story of the of the season. Well, you could say that about Greater Show as well. Certainly during the Capaldi years, I was always looking for one per season that was experimental. Obviously, Heaven Sent was a very risky one. Again, it all depended on Capaldi's performance, right? And he had the chops to bring it. Obviously, it just won the poll. It must be good. So a lot of kids were saying, "Is Doctor Who back next week? Where did it go? Can he go back to fighting robots next week?" Listen, I think it was excellent. Again, I find it hard to. Maybe I'll try rewatching it then. There's no getting away from the fact that Stephen wrote literally half of the final top 10. Yes, there is no getting away from that. So what's Capaldi say? I'm delighted and stunned to discover Heaven Sent has been voted the most popular Doctor Who story in the show's history. I'm hugely appreciative to the... look, this is about as good as Jake Dunban. To all the DWM readers who voted for it, and as a byproduct made an old Doctor very happy. Come back, Peter! Do some Big Finish! Come on! Do some Big Finish! Oh, man, they could use you because, they've chased everybody off from every other range as well. I want some more Peter Capaldi. Like, I would like a... Like, how they would... they need to do... firstly, these box sets need to be more weighty. But the idea they had with Dalek Universe, which they didn't follow through on, was essentially a season. They need to do what Dr. Alex does, right? Write a season, and have a season arc for it, right? That really would have been much better. While staying firmly in the realms, shows did. I was lucky enough to be the Doctor at the time. I was given the ambition for the show that allowed it to make an episode like Heaven Sent, while staying firmly in the realm of the show's DNA. Consequently, attracted a first-rate talent. Oh my God, it's getting worse. On the show, we had the amazing cinematography of Stuart Biddlecombe. Okay. Music, of course, inspired by Rachel. Inspired direction, of course. Marigold's music, inspired direction, by Rachel. Visual effects crew. Visual effects that were excellent. I have to tell you, the bit where he jumps out of the. Let's look at that clip. The bit where he jumps out of the window into the lake and it's got all his skulls in it. That's awesome, right? I mean, I think that was awesome. Man, I need to pee. Oh, I should have peed before I started the stream. If I can find some good objet d'art to watch for a couple of minutes, I shall. Hang on. 12th Doctor. Season 9. Heaven Sent.
As you come into the...
where is it? The bit where he jumps out the window. Oh, that must be it. That was a Scott. Yeah. Right. Here we go.
Come.
Wow, I didn't realize this was this big, this long, this clip.
Scared of dying. I wasn't lying either. Advantage me! Because you won't see this coming.
strategy is he's done this a billion times before, and obviously he does see it coming.
Sorry I'm late. Jumped out of a window. Certain death. Don't you want to know how I survived? Go on. Ask me. No! Of course I had to jump. The first rule of being interrogated is that you are the only irreplaceable person in the torture chamber.
Oh man, he's used that line in the New Adventures. I remember with Professor McCoy saying that.
The room is yours, so work it. If they're going to threaten you with death, show them who's boss. Die faster. You'll see me do that more often than most. Isn't that right, Clara?
Man, I forgot how. Okay, I'm about to take my words on this. This is stunning stuff, right? This internal monologue, this mind palette. This is stunning stuff. I mean, I just want to get to the point where he goes into the water and see all the skulls.
Rule 1 of dying, don't. Rule 2, slow down.
I'm at again. I love it when you see things from inside the doctor's perception.
You've got the rest of your life. The faster you think, the slower it will pass. Concentrate. Assume you're going to survive. Always assume that.
Okay, I'm gonna get copyright struck. I'm gonna have to zoom forward.
One hope. Salt. Thought I smelled it earlier when I broke the window, I'm sure. Salty air. This castle is standing in the sea. Diving into water from a great height is no guarantee of survival. I need to know exactly how far I'm going to fall and how.
Oh man. Okay. Again, Peter Bate, do some big finish. Okay, do some big finish.
How fast? Why do you think I threw the stool? Fall time to impact. 7 seconds.
There we go. Take it now. Man, this is really stunning stuff.
Because you won't see this coming. The wind resistance of the stool. The atmospheric density. The strength of the local gravity.
Oh man. Okay, can you get to the point? I'm really gonna get in trouble. Here we go. Doink. When did you see the how are you going to survive? Oh, here you go. Yeah, he sees all the skulls, and they're all him. Yeah, okay. I might be prepared to eat my words. I think this might be a bit tour de force. I think I might be able to see it. Yeah, okay. There's only idea this he's even going to come up with, and only he could write. All thanks, congratulations him, and to prove my point, Stephen's made a record-breaking amount of top 10 best. I can, but I think it's like the messed up way they did it, right? Although I'm really happy he remembers the Daleks up there. That really makes me feel happy, right? That's yeah. 1 second. 1 second. Is there? Let me look over here for a second. Seem to remember Doctor Who Heaven Sent. Peter Capaldi talking about like there's a 2-minute interview, breaking the wall. Is this the one? Oh, we should grab this. This is Peter Capaldi at the read-through for Heaven Sent. Okay, fine. A 30-second clip. This is really worth it, right? This is really worth it. Where is it? Doink. YouTube. I've really got to go pee, man. What a pain in the ass. Download. I keep download it online. Doink. There we go. Let's grab that. Oh, I think I found the thing to watch while I go pee. But after this, hang on, downloads over here.
The equipment in that room is consistent with an augmented ultra-long-range teleport, so I'm not more than a single light year from where I was, and I'm in the same time zone. When the sun sets, I'll be able to establish an exact position by the stars. Then you'll have a choice. Come out, show yourself, or keep hiding. Clara said I shouldn't take revenge. You should know, I don't always listen.
Thanks, that was really excellent. Fine. Here, 1 second. I am going to go pee, but I'm going to leave you in the capable hands of Stephen Moffat. Hopefully, I will be back.
Hello, I'm Stephen Moffat, and I am the writer of The Unfriend, and lucky you're going to get a tour of my writing room. Right, this is my desk, obviously, where I write, and obviously, like any desk, I have a sonic screwdriver, a Matt Smith sonic screwdriver, also carried on by Peter Capaldi for his first season. I have a magnifying glass, that's sort of for Sherlock. Mark gave me that for my 50th, which I regret to say was a long time ago. This, like every desk needs, is from Dracula's tomb. Again, just for personal safety, is a Silurian gun from Doctor Who, which was given to my little boy when we were making that episode, and he took it home with him, and we forgot to return it. Over here, this is a really exciting piece of fan art. That's done by Peter Capaldi, a well-known Doctor Who fan. He gave that to me on his last day as the Doctor. And this is the very first BAFTA I ever won, which was for Press Gang. And if you want to see how BAFTAs and writers tarnish, I have this photograph here. Look how shiny that BAFTA used to be. Look how shiny I used to be. Look what's happened. Isn't that terrible? The best Radio Times cover I'm ever gonna have. It's got both Sherlock and Doctor Who in the Battle of the BAFTAs. I hope you enjoyed a tour of my lonely little office. Please come and see The Unfriend at the Criterion Theatre. We'd love to see you there. If you see me, come and say hello.
Oh my God. Nick a bloody time, mate. Nick a bloody time. Oh. Man, I think the level of the canary just went up. Wow. Did I need to pee or what? That was orgasmic. Fine. Last time the bank conducted such a survey. A single story back in 2014. The 50th anniversary special narrowly beat the Weeping Angels debut as the overall champion. I'm really intrigued, right, when they do the 70th anniversary poll, assuming we're still around, right? If they putting all the classics on iPlayer, right? Hopefully Disney Plus is going to change these rankings in future. I hope it does, right? Fine. The overall champion. A decade later, it seems like these episodes have cemented their position among fandom's favorites. Yes, I think you can say that they're logged in. that Stephen is clearly humbled. These stories are older than we think they are. For 77 minutes on one particular Saturday, a long 10 years ago, the Day of the Doctor was regarded. Oh, come back. The Day of the Doctor was regarded as the greatest television episode ever made. Well, look, these things do change, right? These things do change. There's fashion. There's all kinds of things that change. But yeah, no, it's a strong old story. Where we go? We're up to. Really lost my place. There we go. We're back. Obviously, it slipped back to some more sane appeal. What would you prefer, the Five Doctors or Dare the Doctor? I think Five Doctors should have really been on that list as well, frankly. Used to be not having the Three Doctors on the list was unthinkable, but times have changed. The first 91 connected an all-time best poll in 98 on the occasion with Genesis of the Dalek. Well, you've got all the modern Who. I mean, that's... when we repeated the experiment in 2009, Caves of Anazania had risen to the top of the list. Unsurprisingly, these former champions both sit firmly inside the top 5. What is it about these tales that make them enduring popular? Well, they're very, very good. It's really interesting to ponder, Stephen. This is something I want to see. Stephen Moffat talking about the top 10 stories. We all know in school that school playground that Genesis of the Daleks was a cut above anything else we've seen. Yeah. It's really obvious when that happens, right? I remember when the show came back with Remembrance of the Daleks, right? And it was like, what the hell is this show? Man, we're in a different freaking universe, right? From where it was. So yeah, you just knew, right? That's absolutely true. Anything we've seen before, we were all going about and saying, have you seen Doctor Who? It's amazing. Although there's hardly any Daleks in it. Well, there's less now, apparently. Daleks, in those days, we could rate Dalek stories by how many times you saw the Daleks. By that measure, Day of the Daleks in 72 was the rubbish one. Well, now they've put a lot more in. Because it had too many Ogrons and not enough Daleks. It didn't really appreciate. I didn't really appreciate it at the time, but it's actually a very good story. It is a very good story as it happens. But Genesis was just blowing us all away. Well, again, it was a quantum leap forward in storytelling, right? It was like for me, right, when I was reading Judge Dredd, and all of a sudden Warrior came along, and it had Marvel Man in it and V for Vendetta. Right, it was just whoa. That was a definite step up. Has the show's best monster in it in Davros, and the best villain. That is also true. Although the Case of Anzari has always charted highly in our polls. Back in '84, it was beaten in the annual season poll by the more thrilling Dalek action or Restoration of Daleks. That should have been another one. Say it that way. I don't fun anymore, Doctor. So perhaps Caves is a perfect example of that. Was initially eclipsed by a flashy showbiz story, but has become more appreciated over time. Well, there's a lot of nihilism in Caves of Androzani, and again, lots of very good acting and direction. And again, I prefer the earlier Robert Holmes scripts, right? But it's very much of its time. Yeah, it's absolutely true. Agree, Stephen. But by the way, can I just say it's really like Resurrection of the Daleks. It's very well directed. It's very well done. Oddly enough, I wasn't that blown away when I first saw it. Well, the Magma Beast is a bit shocking. Not as bad as the Garm. Okay, they're not as bad as the Garm. Although when I was a massive Doctor Who fan of Peter Davis's Doctor. But I was blown away by how much more recently, 10 years or so ago, when I watched it again. I thought, wow, this is fantastic, atmospheric and amazing. It is. It's again, and just like Logopolis, is very, very focused on entropy and death, and you got a lot of finality built into that, right? I would say the same is true with the Case of Androzani. Actually, I would say the same is true again about what's it called again? Capaldi's last story, Twice Upon a Time. Are they all about death, really? I wouldn't say 10th Planet was, because it was much more experimental, and War Games was too much of a romp. Planet of Spiders, no, it was only really towards the end when it felt like he was about to go. But Logopolis, yes. Case of Androzani, yes. Characters. No, that doesn't count. But that wasn't planned at the end. Neither thought was Survival, even though that bit they wrote at the end on the back of a fag packet did the trick, right? Did the trick. Fine. I sometimes wonder if writer Robert Holmes just watched the first ever story when he was writing it, as the only two stories where Doctor Who is completely outpaced by people who are much dumber than him. He generally gets to be an amazing conjurer, but it's just the wonderful pettiness between all the characters as well. Salatine and Morgus and what's the name of the general? All of them, they were great, right? I like Stoltz and the gun runners. they were all great, was it? Maurice Ruse, right? Is that how you pronounce his name? He generally gets to be an amazing country, but in those two, he gets completely messed up. And it's very rare to put Doctor in a situation where he looks around and says, there is exactly one person worth saving here, and she came here with me. And again, I wonder if Robert Holmes thought, the last time the Doctor changed was Legopolis. Tom Baker had to save the universe. So I'm going to give Peter Davison the smallest victory he could possibly have. Well, they were going to do that with Tennant's regeneration, right? The original idea was he was just stuck on a ship with a small family. That it shouldn't have been a real problem, but it ended up with him having to regenerate. But they went for something much bigger budget. This is Brian Minchin, isn't it? Right. A match made in heaven. Sometimes my job is backing artists with a vision. And so as Stephen started talking to me about the idea of Heaven Sent, I loved the purity of it and the concept of it. I loved how it was going to challenge Stephen as a writer, Peter as an artist, Rachel as a director, and the entire team giving Peter a solo episode that was hugely appealing. Man, Tom would have loved when Tom went out of the companion. He wanted to do that permanently, but he literally nobody else. Tom would have loved that. Oh my god! So I was immediately excited by it. People sometimes think Stephen is highly tricksy writer. To his tricksy, it has a highly is a slightly tricksy element to his writing, but actually he's hugely emotional. That's true. A lot of his writing is about, and Capaldi's Doctor was hugely emotional. A lot of his writing about finding his ways to explore emotion and reflect experiences in a really fascinating way. We knew that Clara would be gone. We knew that the Doctor would be dealing with the loss and the grief, and so we would. So this would be a way to explore that. And man, I just wish, Bernie Summerfield was doing this Unbound series with David Warner's alternate universe Doctor. I wish they would do one more of those ones, but with that Doctor had died, and basically she's mourning his loss. I really wish they would do that, and you can put McCoy in it in one episode. You could put what was his name? Paul McGann in another episode. Maybe put David Tennant in an episode. There's a lot you could do with that, right? There's a lot you could do with that, with saying goodbye. Because they were, a couple, right? I think it would be really, really poignant. Oh, man, I just wish they would do that. It's about so many things. It's about perseverance. It's about belief in yourself that can overcome things. It's the bit where he struck me is when I rewatched it. It's about the Doctor's memory of Clara in his imagination and how she would talk to him. That helped him to win. Oh, man, I've got to rewatch this episode. Okay, I've been very down on it. I disagree with myself. I've clearly been wrong. It's easy to make something that's a bit sad, but actually much more profound to make. It's much more profound that your memories of a person you love help you will help you make you a better person. It's a beautiful idea. It really is a beautiful idea as a writer. I got a lot of respect for that, and that's the way the Doctor would honor the dead. Right, to use their memory to make them better. Yeah, honestly, this all fits together very nicely. In some ways, that's more heroic definition of the Doctor. Yeah, I tend to agree. As we cast our eyes to the new top 10, the long-time favorite Human Nature Family Bud came 6th. I think that's fair, right? I think that's fair. I think that's an incredibly strong story. Right, I think it was better as a new adventure. Big Finish should adapt that. Right, the original version with Sylvester McCoy. I bet that will do actually very well. Came in 6th. It came in 2008. Came in 9th, and now rebounds to 7th place. Meanwhile, City of Death came in 8th, 5th in 2014, and now it's back to 8th again. And remember, Daleks seem to be gradually rising in popularity. It's a freaking awesome story. That's why. Oh, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's a Doctor at the gate. That was wild. Right? That was wild. We're like, what? Wait, what? That was wild. I'm sorry. Rather than 10th place in 2014, we now claiming the 9th place. I think I'm personally responsible for that joke, Stephen. When people watch the modern era, I won't say the classic. I won't watch the classic era. That's obviously annoys me profoundly. So the story I always recommend is Remembrance of the Daleks because it's terrific. It's totally very consistent with the modern show. Yes, that's true. Also, Survival. It's very consistent with the modern show. It's very, but it's also very different. It's just full of grandstanding moments. It's also people who really don't. People just don't know how good Sylvester McCoy is. This is for me when Capaldi came riding in on the tank of his second season. Right, suddenly he's a Doctor, so much more than before. Right. And there was such negativity around the time. We loved it. What are you talking about? I remember being at Panopticon the year about a month before it came out. Somebody spoiled to me that the Emperor Dalek is Davros. I'm like, oh, schmucko. Why don't do that? And I was probably part of that too because I was a fool. I was younger then. I was more enamored. But you get the new Blazing Doctor. And it's a really beautiful show. As for Human Nature, I was terrified of Blink going out immediately after it. I thought that's one of the best I've ever seen, and now I get my show, which doesn't even have David Tennant in it. Stephen, mate, you need not worried, okay? You need not have worried. That's what I think. And now I get my show that doesn't even have David Tennant in it. I also think there's no small thing to say that Human Nature is David Tennant's finest hour. That's his best performance, especially when you see the Doctor coming back over his persona. Oh God, yeah, and it's heartbreaking and elating all at the same time. Yeah, I do agree. It's just brilliantly done. As for which classic stories are missing the final, I think it's a crime that Ark in Space isn't there. Ark in Space, you really need the updated effects. It makes such a difference. Right? It makes such a freaking difference, those updated effects. It's crazy how much of a difference it makes. Every planet has an also. Small spy check. I love that line. That is an all-time great line. Isn't there? He said, you could take that script, you can hand it to a regular cast, to any regular cast. Hartnell could do it, Shooty could do it, Matt Smith with the Ponds. You're actually right. That's interesting. I also feel that way about Callan. If you shoot with the old, it's on YouTube. You can find a bunch of old episodes. Old spy show. You can basically just reshoot those scripts now, and they will still be perfect, right? It's a really, really well written. And again, the writing today is terrible, generally speaking, right? But it's a really well written. So, and also, where's Rose? So much packed into that episode. I don't think that deserves to be the top 10. We're going to do Doctor Who. And taking for granted, there's a whole bunch of brilliant things that Russell Davies did in his first year. And Rose was impeccable reinstatement of Doctor Who. I'm not sure. I mean, it worked very well. But honestly, I think, okay, Rose got people's attention. And then it bubbled away during End of the World and The Unquiet Dead, right? It was like, wow, look, it's all Victorian, and then it's all futuristic again. The special effects are good, right? But I think it only really hit home with Aliens in London and World War III. I think that's the one where because I remember they had the thing where you they had the fake websites that you could go to where you could hack into the destroyer and have it put in the code Buffalo, right? And have it fire a missile like on the episode. It was really cool. So exactly the same way as it always was, but completely different. I remember watching that and thinking, that's a note-perfect, fuss-free recreation of Doctor Who for a brand new audience. And then Russell goes, does the very first season of finale with Bad Wolf, Parting of the Ways, which also should be in there. Again, I think Aliens London World War III are better than all of those things, right? Honestly, I don't think Bad Wolf, Parting of the Ways is that great. Frankly, I think it's very Rusty Davies, but I think Father's Day is far superior, frankly. There's a lot that are better. And also Dr. Dances and what's that first one called? Oh, I can't remember. Moffat's first one, right? The Empty Child, right? It's fair to say there's no list of favorites can possibly hope to match every view of fans, but no one can dispute the fact that it contains a damn fine Doctor Who no one it's lasted 6 years. Well, that's a very nice way of putting it, right? Again, I think it's a messed up voting that came up this way. Well enough at the time, and Doctor was like, loved that. This is all the Capaldi's performance, and like him getting there the moment too late that Bill Potts has been turned into a Cyberman, right? That it's fantastic, and the master, John Sim whips off his disguise master, and he can't stop laughing. This weird Machiavellian play. It's brilliant, right? It's brilliant. As is Genesis of the Daleks. All these were quantum leap steps up. The Death Doctor it's so crowd pleasing, right? People were happy to see Tenenbaum. I thought the Zygons were a disappointment. Blink, wonderfully inventive writing. I think Family of Blood, Human H Family of Blood is better. City of Death, I think, should be way higher up. Remember the Daleks, wonderful. If that's in the top 10, I'm very happy. Silence and Library for the Dead, great cliffhanger. Right? Really, genuinely great cliffhanger. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe. And ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.